most of the joy that I'm trying to access is from my devices now, right?
Yeah. Yes.
It's probably 60%, I would say, which is a bad number to have, right? And I asked you the last time we talked, like, what was the longest you've gone without the phone? I think you told me you were skiing and it gets cold and you would feel weird if you basically just lost power and then you couldn't ski for checking like that, right?
Yeah. Do you want? Are you re-asking me? Is it longer? Have I broken my record?
Yeah.
So, yeah, like outdoor activities. Yeah, skiing is great because the cold kills the iPhone. So if it's really cold out, you can't really have your phone. I also am someone who I can't be on my phone in the car. I get nauseous if I'm not driving. Like I can't read in the car. And when I'm driving, I'm a bit of a boomer. Like I get overwhelmed with the CarPlay. And like, I don't really want to hear Siri read me my texts. And I don't really like to dictate replies.
Yeah.
And I can't. So like, I can listen to music and podcasts and I can have a conversation. And that's pretty much the fuck it. So like, if I'm driving and I drive, I go to the country, like I just was driving all morning. It's like being on a plane with no Wi-Fi. And it's kind of good. I'm out. You can't communicate with me.
Right.
Which is nice. But like, yeah, I really think that for me, what helps me the most is like, I have my husband who is 8 years older than me. I don't mean that in a way that is uncharitable to him. I just think he's a bit more of a Gen Xer than I am.
Yeah.
And he's not a phone guy. Like he doesn't use social media. And he's also a Virgo like myself. We're both Virgos, as is one of our children. And I'm not like into astrology, but I do believe that there's this like deeply judgmental, like self-loathing quality. We're very hard on ourselves. And that's bad. And that's what my therapist said. That was a really bad thing. But I also think it's kind of helpful. And I just feel very judged by him. And he's very judgmental. Like he'll just be like, he'll also like, if I'm on my phone and he's talking to me, he'll just stop talking and wait until I'm done. And that makes me feel really self-conscious.
I want to be
he's
like
right. He's like, you can't hear what I'm saying. You don't know what I'm saying to you right now. And you're pretending you're listening. And I'm like, that's completely true. I really can't do both of these things at once. And so that, I would say, as much as it embarrasses me and it makes me feel bad about myself, I think it's probably what's keeping me kind of like sane, is the social pressure that's coming from inside of my house. And I think if I was married to someone who was as bad as me, I would really, really I would suffer a lot more.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to suffer the self-loathing.
Right.
I think I talked about this in that interview, now that I remember. But I also think like going outside, nature is helpful. Like I feel very gross being on my phone, like in the woods. Like, you know what I mean? Like if I'm on a hike, I feel really sick about it. So that's good. Like I try to be outside and that's like helpful for me, but not everyone has access to the woods.
No.
Like, it's not easy for everyone. And I don't know. I wanted to ask you though, like in your household, like, do you guys like get on each other about this, or do you just let each other be? Are you like, you guys, like everyone has their thing that they have to do.
This is what I started doing when any of them asked for my phone, because I'll let them have my phone for, 20 minutes or so, because it helps us get a break, honestly. But we have to do a 1-minute meditation before then,
Oh,
I know. So
wow.
we do like the 1-minute meditation. All the little ones are cool with it. They like it. My oldest, like, he's a real dick about it right now. Just like, it's a 57-second meditation. He's always trying to kind of barter. Just like, I'll do 30 seconds. I'm like, it's 57 seconds.
No. Come on. So do you like put a timer on and you're like, just sit here?
Well, I do the insight timer. It's a guided meditation, and we sit there, and it doesn't matter where we are. I don't make them get on the pillows and stuff like that. I mean, my daughter loves to do it, but him, I'm just like, wherever we are, before you take that phone, we're doing the meditation first.
Well, that's cool. I think it's a good move. Like righteous. Yeah.
And because someone was telling me, it's like, can you imagine when your kids grow up and someone asks them how long you've been meditating, and they'll say 6, right? Basically, and I'm just like, man, I'm that guy. Yeah, I don't know. So,
There was something that I was thinking about ahead of this podcast, because I wasn't sure exactly what we were going to talk about, but there's this book that I read a long time ago, and I picked it back up recently. It's by a dude. So this book. It's called Cutting Through Spiritual Materialism by Chogyam Trungpa, who is the founder of the Shambhala Buddhist movement. Right. He was like, for those who know, like, sexual misconduct, a lot of like not great vibes around Shambhala, but also a very cool organization that produced a lot of amazing books and whatever. So just, disclaimer. But so this is a disclaimer. This is an amazing book. And it talks about, basically he wrote it because he was like, he came to, Boulder. He founded the Naropa Institute, and he was teaching all these Western people about Buddhism. And like, as soon as he got started, he was like, oh, wow, like you guys have this thing that you do where you just try to win at everything. Like, and it's just your way. Like, it's not that you're like super fucked up. It's just this your culture. And so like when you're becoming Buddhists, you're approaching it in this way where you're just trying to use it as a self-improvement tool. And that's like not how that works. And so this is like a series of talks where he's like, guys, you got to try to think about it in a different way. Like let's just think this through. Yeah. And it's so kind of sympathetic and humane. Right. And it's amazing. And he talks about at the beginning, the kind of the bureaucratic aspect of the ego. Like the ego is this sort of bureaucrat, and it's like it wants to kind of manage and take charge and take accounting of everything. And I really think of my phone use, I think of social media as like this perfect, like a tool, like an Excel suite of tools, whatever. Microsoft Office for the little egomaniacal bureaucrat within. Because it's like, oh, well, you got to check up on everything, got to see how, and it just, there's endless work to do, got to see how that reel is performing, got to see what people are saying. And then I've got to look at the other people and I got to check up on them. And you have like files and sub-files in your own mind. I mean, what I always find so amazing is like how much data I have in my mind passively just about social media and other people and what they're up to. Like, I retain fucking everything. Great. It's crazy. It's not great. It's useless. It's just like other people's trips, like, oh, where that person's summers. Like, I don't want to know that. I shouldn't know that. And I do eventually forget because the capacity is limited. But like, it's just this kind of little workspace for like the work of ego. And anyway, meditation is obviously like one of the great ways of trying to cut through that, so to speak. But for me, like social media's effect on my like emotional life is that it really activates that bureaucrat. I think it always has. And it's a real struggle for me. Do you have an ego? Is it like, raging? Is it, because you seem competitive. Is that like competitive? Yeah, because it was also, and when we first started talking too, and I was amazed just that you hadn't really done any sort of like real professional writing at that point. You had this very high profile column in New York Mag, right? And you also live in Montreal. And I'm like, are you separate from kind of like the New York media competition? Because that's an energy. It is, it's not healthy. Energy. It's not healthy either. But do you find yourself, like the more popular the column became, do you feel like you're part of that now, or you need to be a part of it? A little bit, maybe. Like, I did write a column before this in like 2015. I wrote a column for Jezebel about parenting. Yeah. But it was like a year and a half. And again, I was in Montreal and it was kind of a fluke that I got it. And then after that, I didn't do anything for like a number of years, really. Just a little here and there. Yeah, I feel so fortunate to not live in New York City because I think I would be completely consumed with all that stuff. Like I am a candidate for all the competitive kind of like, just the horse race of it all, keeping track of other people's success. That would be me. And I think living here just limits my exposure to it.
Right.
And even though I know where everyone vacations because of Instagram, I don't really know the details of like people's deals, who people are represented by.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about that stuff, and I don't want to know. I don't want to know. It to me feels like it would make me into a more unhappy person.
I've actually fixed that part of me. I'm not very competitive when it comes to career stuff anymore. You know, my identity is more kind of the real home life sort of stuff. And you know, recovery is obviously partially my job now, a little bit too. But I have no desire to become kind of a recovery influencer. Sorry. You know, but
is that what you're really supposed to be doing? Well, I think that's what everyone's pushing you to do.
Well, there's an opportunity there, right? To be that person, especially in a way. I think the way that I do it, also coming from, you know, this public disgrace sort of version of things too, and knowing the media like I know it, right?
It's interesting. Like in my book, I talk about like how everyone loves like a redemption narrative and like a triumphant overcoming narrative, which is really interesting. Like, because it puts like sobriety and recovery narratives in real tension to me, because on the one hand, and you've talked about this, like you could really lean into like just the culture loves a thing of like, it was bad and now it's good. And it loves it when it gets better and better and better. But then you get into a deeply sick situation where it's like, it has to keep getting better. Otherwise it's shit. Like our, you know, line of progress needs to be upward. Whereas, you know, in real life and in terms of people who really are, you know, well, and often like happy in their lives, it's often like much more of a kind of a flat type of thing. And there's this pressure. Like I was talking to the Galaxy Brain podcast the other day about how like, you know, 30 years ago or whatever, you know, you could have like a family business, like a hardware store or whatever, and it would just be in business. And the expectation was that people would pay themselves, but you weren't going to get rich, right?
Yeah.
It was just the business that keeps all of these people surviving.
Yes.
And now it's like, you can't have that kind of business. You have to be scaling all the time.
Right.
And then in that process of scaling is where it's just the risk of failure and of like, I think like personal, like feelings of kind of real ambivalence really get to be kind of risky. So it's like, you know, with the sobriety narrative or with the narrative of like recovery at all, it's like it's better now, but it's what the small boat does is so interesting to me is like really embraces the fact that it's going to be all kinds of things. It's not just about the like, you know, marathon finish feeling.
Yeah.
But that does kind of go against like the spirit of enterprise that we live in.